G'day humans, Chris Stead here. I'm on the road. Today I'm in the capital of French Polynesia, Papeete, on the island of Tahiti. And I'm staying at the InterContinental Tahiti Resort and Spa. You can see the entrance right behind me now. In this video, I'm going to give you a full tour and some review thoughts on what this place has to offer, in case you're wondering if it's the right place for you. Let's go. This is one of a couple of big hotel chains that you'll find kind of near the town of Papeete. We're actually a fair way out of town, but near the airport. So there's the InterContinental, there's the Hilton, and they're probably the two big dogs in town. Now it's not to be confused with the InterContinental Bora Bora. I'm pretty sure there's one on Bora Bora. This is the one that's in Tahiti, Papeete. So you're probably going to end up here more as a transitional experience, where you've come into town and you're about to transition onto another island, and you just need somewhere for a couple of days in between, or you're waiting for a plane, or like I was, you were getting onto a cruise. So I did a Windstar cruise called Dreams of Tahiti, so make sure you keep it on the channel because I'll be putting up a lot about that particular cruise as well as excursions around all the islands in the area, in the French Polynesian area. So that's more likely, but you also might just come here because it's a nice hotel and you want to hang out in somewhere nice with Overwater Villas and a really nice pool and everything. So we're going to go take you into all of that and dive into it, but I like to start with a little bit of a look out the front just to see where you are. So like I said, it's a little bit out of the way from the main town. So if you want to get to Papeete, you pretty much got to drive that way, down the road here, for a good 15 plus minutes at least. Maybe even closer to 20 to get to the centre of town. And if you go this way, it's pretty much the road that goes down to Chopu, the surf break, and that's about, well, it's going to take you 2 hours on a bus, at least an hour in a car, heading down that way, just kind of hugging the coast all the way around to the western side of the Tahitian island, or Tahiti Island. If you want to walk around, look, there's not a whole lot to see. You can walk kind of down this way. You will get to some shops and grocery markets and pharmacies and so forth. Eventually, it's just kind of like a suburb. It's not a destination as such. There's some restaurants down there and there's things to do, don't get me wrong. If you wanted to go kind of see some of the cultural sites, you probably want to jump on an excursion or a tour from here, or hire a bike or a car and just go for a bit of a drive than walk anywhere. All right, well, let's go inside the resort itself. And like I said, I'm transitioning from a cruise to a flight. So the flights back to Australia don't leave very often. And oh, look how much quieter it just got. Be happy that you don't, or happy in the knowledge that you can't hear this road at all from anywhere down in the resort. In fact, let's just jump ahead down through the parking lot. Okay, so here we are. Got through the parking lot and got this kind of quaint little entrance here. It's not awfully spectacular, but I'll explain why because it's got a really interesting layout, this place. It's really maximising its coastal surface area. And it's got it's kind of sea on a knuckle that goes out into the sea. But as you step in straight away, you'll see that, while the entrance may not look spectacular, once you get inside, it's quite nice. Beautifully framing the ocean, you'll see that in a sec. So you've got reception over here, and concierge over there. There's excursions around the corner. There's a little bar up here, the lobby bar. It actually gets quite a lot of use, actually. And lots of ample seating spaces through here until you come out and embrace the spectacular view of the Pacific Ocean in French Polynesia. Now, I'll talk straight away about the thing that there's no getting around in. It's July 2025 at the moment, and they're redoing the pool, so the main pool. So there's quite a few pools, so it's not the end of the world. and I'm sure by the time you've seen this and you've gotten here, it'll be all done. I think it's supposed to be done within a couple of months now. It's going to be spectacular when it's done. But that's obviously going to be a bit of an infinity pool overlooking a lagoon, which I'll take you to in a sec, but that's got snorkelling and coral and fish and all things going on in there. So look, it was well advertised. I knew it was going to be there. There's a few sounds going on, but you know, I'm going to ignore this for the sake of this review, because I think by the time you get here, that's going to be an absolute value add and a huge asset to this place and make it even better. Now, as I said, it's a very thin resort, so you pretty much, as you've seen, we just come through the lobby and we're already at the water edge, and it stretches kind of like the wings of a manta ray down that way, and then down that way off towards the Overwater Villas that go out in the jetty there. So it pretty much means that almost every room, I'd say, I'd be surprised if it wasn't every room, but almost has at least water glimpses, but most have a good ocean view. So that's obviously a big benefit, right? It does look nice. Done a really good job up here. All right. So I'm staying down that way. So we'll start this way. Over here you've got a boutique shop. I'll tell you some classic souvenirs and so forth. Woodwork, bracelets, necklaces. I'm sure there's pearls in there. So that's what you can expect here. There's another jewellery shop down here. And then underneath this, there's a big reception hall. So I did see someone setting up last night for what looked like a wedding. So they obviously do events and so forth like that. So in there, the hibiscus, there's a few of these I think. There's boardrooms as well. There's a huge entertaining space. Okay. Now I want you to take note of the kind of like heavy dark browns and cream colour and very warm lighting. It's a little bit old school. There's definitely, as we'll go through, there's lots to love in this place, but there's other things which would definitely benefit from a modern makeover, and other places that definitely do with them tender loving care. Okay, so down here we have, I think it's called Tiare. Here we go. Tiare, which is where you're going to have breakfast. So let's go have a look at the breakfast buffet, and also had dinner here as well. Anyway, I'll take you on a tour of the food. Got a nice little arrangement of seating. So you've got kind of your tables and chairs, but they've also got booths as well. So different types of seating experiences. So you can stay well up out of the shade, near the food, near the air conditioning, or go right up the front. You can kind of get a bit of an idea of that. You probably can't see it, the view that's going to be out there. It's spectacular, right over the reef. Okay. So it's a pretty good buffet. There's a few swings and misses, but we'll go through it. Now, so over here you got your fruit. Actually, fruit's on this side. A lot of local fruits. And your classics. And over here we've got salads. So corn, you can see there, cabbage, carrot, cucumber, tomato, some salad dressings. I'll be tucking into that pineapple. Pineapple over here is fantastic. Then down here we've got the hot foods. I'll take you all the way to the other end and we'll come back through because it's a bit crowded in here at the moment. So it's pretty Western focused, actually, except for this one part over here. So you've got a couple of local products you can try. The coconut bread's gone, but that was really nice. A couple of little local products to try. Don't know if these mix up every day or not. And then a kind of local salad over here. But otherwise, it's pretty much just classic Western staples. No Oriental food or like classic Islander food like tuna or salmon. There's no smoked salmon, I just realised. It's a bit of a bummer. Yeah, some cheeses here. Over here we've got some cold meats. Some different types of milk. Pretty basic pastry section, like there's not too much going on here. I'm just a bit surprised about considering this is, you know, effectively France. You'd think the pastry section would be going off the chain, but not a whole lot going on. It's a bit better over here with the bread selection. And of course, baguettes down the end. Sorry, mate. Over here, section of nuts, dried fruits. And your condiments. So here's kind of one of the misses. So they've got yogurts, but it's just packaged yogurt. And kind of tinned fruit. Maybe it's not tinned, maybe I'm being unfair, but it looks like it. And then cereal selection's a little bit down as well. No granola, no Cocoa Pops. We've got this though. And the juices are all, they're not fresh. So they're just, you can, as soon as you taste it, you realise they're not fresh. So, yeah, a few swings and misses. So over here with the hot foods, there was pudding in here. It was packed, but it was stacked like I saw it last time, so obviously very popular. Some porridge, boiled eggs, seasoned vegetables, tomato. Interesting tasting tomato actually. I don't know what they've got on it. A little bit different than usual. Mushrooms, kind of a bok choy bacon mix. So it was quite nice. Scrambled eggs, steamed rice, which is interesting because there's nothing to really put it with. Miso soup. Sausages, chicken sausages, pancakes. You can order your own eggs, but just the very basic options. So there's a hell of an omelette though, I will say. They don't muck around with the omelette, but no eggs Benedict or kind of anything a little more exciting. Over here you've got waffles. And a selection of things to put on it, including the ever popular Nutella and mushrooms. And then wedges, hash browns, what they call normal bacon, which I'd say is burnt bacon, and then what they call well done bacon, which is charcoal. They really seem to like charcoal bacon here. You know, that's a run through of what you can expect from the buffet breakfast. So I also got to try the Tui Te Peru themed dinner, and that was really fantastic. The buffet was great, real diversity of food types, some fantastic salads, some fantastic local dishes, some oriental dishes, had just about everything. Oysters in particular, I definitely had my fair share of those. But yeah, the whole dinner experience was really enjoyable. Great desserts as well, as you'll see in a second. And then we had some dances. So they had this themed dance going on. The dancers were fantastic. I can't believe they could keep that energy up and do what they do. Honestly, I would break in half if I tried. So yeah, if you get a chance to do this dinner, I do recommend it. The food was fantastic, and as you'll see in a second, the dancing was absolutely captivating. Okay, and over here we have the Tiki Bar. So it's a little bit too earlier for to see this one bustling. There's quite a few bars here, which is good because, like I said, it's quite a wide resort. So there can be a lot of walking depending on where you are. This is one of the bars that you can nestle up in, and obviously this is going to become even better when that pool out there is finished. Okay, we're going to head down through here. And I'll do a full room tour after going for a walk around. But I just want to take you through these buildings to the other side to just show you what's there. So you can see here, just on the other side, down that hallway now, and you can see it branches off to what I suspect are probably the cheaper rooms. I don't think they're necessarily compromised in terms of space. In fact, looking through the doors as people have been cleaning, looks like all the rooms are quite sizable. Mine's huge, which I'll show you in a sec. As you kind of come through here, got this big open grass patch. There's a lot of grass at this resort, which is great. I've noticed a lot of young families, so with like babies and kids, just kind of picnicking almost on the grass, and it's just such a nice grass. Right, now, so over there, you've got a tennis court, so you can talk to the concierge. They'll give you some balls and rackets and go down there. I cannot for the life of me think of when it'll be cool enough to play tennis, but maybe really early in the morning or so forth. It's got lights down there by the looks of it. Now over there's a water sports platform. Now that water sports platform is run independently, so it's a third-party company. So anything you get from there is not going to be included. You can do jet skis, you can do diving tours, there's paddle boards, snorkel gear. I think the paddle boards and canoes were $20 US to hire. Don't know how long you get them for actually, I should have asked that, sorry. But snorkel gear is also $20 US, and that will get you 24 hours. But, as I'll go into, there's also a hotel water sports spot inside near the pool, and you can get snorkels there. So you can see everyone gets this really nice big balcony, and everyone gets a pretty good outlook. Oh, here's a plane. Now I want to talk about the planes. They're right near the airport. That's like a military jet. The French are here. Look, there's not that much activity at the airport. Like it's not comparable to anywhere in Australia, for example. Well, you know, like a city, like it's not comparable to any city. But they do come past, and they do come past at some awkward hours, and like every now and again, you'll just hear a really loud plane, and then you won't hear anything for a long time. There doesn't seem to be much way to get around that. Most of the kind of places to stay are near the airport, so. Has it disturbed me? There were some planes were left really quite early in the morning, and one came in late last night, like before midnight, but like after 10, which was, you could really hear it. I was like, whoa, what is that? But you know, the inconsistency of it means it doesn't really bother you. Right, we're going to walk around because so you can see here. So these rooms at the moment are a bit compromised because, hello, we're mixing cement here. But yeah, it's in no way a criticism. What are you going to do? You got to do it at some point. I gotta be honest, that's really the first time that I've heard a sound that could be annoying. But anyway, whatever. When you get here, it's not going to be there. Don't worry about it. Here's some jet skis that some guys have rented coming in after hitting the bay. Right, so we're down here. So that's where that pool's going to come out. It's going to be unreal. Have to come back and check it out. And here we've got they call it the Lagoonarium or something. I don't know, maybe it's French way of saying it. So you can't really see it in this part of the pool. It's all salt water. There's full fish in there. I believe there's turtles in there, but I haven't seen one yet. I've seen turtles elsewhere. And as we walk around, you'll see, here we go. There's some turtles on the sign. And there's a little island in the middle there with some sun lounges. They probably could put more sun lounges there, but I think they're just trying to keep everybody at the other side of the resort, which is where we'll end up in a sec. And that's obviously away from all the noise and activity, and it's still really lovely up there, but just a little bit jam-packed at the moment for obvious reasons. But you can come down here, there's nothing stopping you. Having a swim and a snorkel. They don't seem to be that keen on you snorkeling just off the jetty or off the break wall. But having said that, all the Overwater Villas do have like water entry, so maybe I'm wrong about that. I just saw a few signs down around the next pool, which I'll show you in a sec. And when we walk over there, I'll show you. There's actually a fair bit of fish and coral in there. Now in here, there's a really large open space, and I'm not sure what they use it for. So in terms of like activities, they do have an activity schedule. There are a few things on during the day, some cultural things like learning how to cook, weave, make coconut milk, things like that. I don't think they necessarily happen here, but maybe they do. I've seen them over by the other pool. But there's no kids club, and that's important to note. And there's no kid-specific activity, so they don't have a guy doing, water polo and then bomb contest and things like that. So while there seems to be quite a lot of families here and the kids are having an absolute ball in the pools, very clearly having a great time, you are going to be responsible for their entertainment. So that is just something to note. I don't think it's family unfriendly, but yeah, they're not going to babysit the kids. So over here are some of the Overwater Villas. I've stayed in Overwater Villas a number of times in the Maldives. If you want to check out my channel, I've got plenty of content about them. They're pretty awesome. They feel really private. The water splashing underneath is great. You can usually just jump off the end into the ocean whenever you feel like it. Sometimes they have pools. I'm not staying in one, so I can't vouch for these or tell you what they're like, other than to say that in general, Overwater Villas are pretty awesome. And I think these would be the ones to get. There's some more at the other end, I'll show you in a sec. But I think these would be the ones that would have the best outlook. Yeah. The sunsets like that way, and also pretty close to all the activities. The Lagoon pool, the new pool when it's built, that buffet breakfast. When you get down to the other end, it's quite a walk. You can order a buggy or whatever, they will come pick you up, drop you off. There's roads that go up and down, both at the back of the resort and in front. But yeah, it is a bit of a walk from one end to the other, especially if you're not particularly able-bodied. Okay, so here we go, look at this. Hopefully you can see the fish in there and the coral. Someone's snorkeling around. I'm going to go join them in a sec, because it is getting hot. Look at that, yeah. So I think it's really cool that they've got this. It's a nice, secure, safe place, especially for beginner snorkelers, kids that are just getting started, adults that are just getting started. And you've got the reef kind of way out there. You're not going to swim out there for anything. Which is a shame, because the surf out there has been pumping, which you'll never get to it. I've tried before, not today. So yeah, they could do with more sun lounges down here, but I got a feeling they've moved them all to the other pool just because of the works that have been done. But lots of shade. Well, there are no hammocks. They could really add some hammocks. That'd be a great addition. Just a few hammocks here and there. Maybe the trees aren't well suited to spatially, but righto. So you can see a couple of people soaking up the rays here, living a real good life. Now the water might look a bit choppy and nasty to you. That's what you want. That's bringing with it a really lovely breeze. So it goes right over there. So we're going to walk all the way over there in a sec, just to give you an idea of just how kind of long and flat this place is. But it's pretty spectacular. Okay, so I just got out of there and it's really good. It's not too far off what you'll get if you go out to one of the coral gardens out near the end of the atoll. Obviously you don't get that steep drop off, and you're not going to get a manta ray or a shark or something like that suddenly coming past you, but there's decent coral in there and there's an abundant amount of fish. Really great. Fantastic if you're just trying to come to grips with snorkeling and don't have to deal with currents and any of that. Really, really good. And also I found out a bit more information over here. So they're working with a non-profit to basically rescue injured turtles and bring them either back to enough health to put back into the sea, or if they can't do that, give them somewhere to live. So yeah, that's the go in here. So there are turtles, but you don't get to swim on the turtle side. There are baby turtles that come in here as well, but I can't see at the moment. That's pretty cool. That big space over there, by the way, they do events there. So they have like festivals, like dance festivals and things like that there occasionally, and the odd wedding or corporate event. So that's what they use that big space for. So that might be something that you either want to embrace because there's a party going on, you can be part of it, or that you may want to avoid. So something to check when you're booking anyway. Now, in terms of the staff experience, it's been really good. The cleaning staff, the waiters and waitresses, all been super friendly, and yeah, we've got nothing but positive things to say about the big smiles on their faces and their eagerness to make you feel great. Check-in was a bit gnarly, but I think that was mostly because, and it's just something to note if you're doing kind of transitioning here to a cruise, is that this is a partner hotel for at least Windstar Cruises. I don't know if there's any others that they do. And so on the day that the Windstar cruise ship is in town, there's a whole bunch of people getting off and a whole bunch of people getting on, and a lot of them come through here. So it was pandemonium when I got here from the cruise ship in the morning. Still wasn't that bad realistically, it was just a bit longer and a bit like, wow, what's going on? There's so many people around. And then as you just saw, you got there now and it's, you know, very quiet and calm and nice. So I don't think my check-in experience was necessarily indicative of what yours will be, but it's just something to note that if you are doing that cruise transition, just expect that and be ready for it. It might just take you a little bit to check in because the staff were under the pump trying to deal with a transition over of hundreds of people from leaving and hundreds of people arriving. Righto. So obviously these are all rooms up here. Now just at the front here, we've got the fitness centre, and that's connected to the spa. The fitness centre is open 24 hours, the spa is not. So you can enter through the spa to get to the fitness centre, or you can, after hours, just come in through the side through the fitness centre. So let's go have a look at the spa and the fitness centre. And also I thought the spa was it's really quite nice. It's not very big, it's quite small, and it's not kind of like isolated out over the water somewhere like sometimes you see. So the kind of post-spa relaxation area isn't awfully exotic, but it's nice. And you've got like a steam room and a cold plunge pool and some things to do for up to 2 hours, I think they said. After you've finished your treatment, you get free access to all that stuff as well. Righto. Down here there's a pond which is noticeable or relevant because of the turtles. See the turtles? Just hanging out there. And I've also seen some massive land crabs. There's a couple of holes just in the grass along here. And if you come out at the right time, particularly just around sunset, you can see a decent sized crab come out of there. All right, so you've got different rooms here. I think there's a couple of tiers of room, obviously starting with the Overwater Villas. And as you can see, they've all, at worst, you've got water glimpses with these ones here, but most of them have big balconies looking right out over the Pacific Ocean. And like I said, that's Mo Oria over there. And I've done a tour of that island, which I've got in a separate video. I'm pretty sure that's Mo Oria. I hope I haven't got that wrong. But it's really out today. You can see no clouds on it. Doesn't it look amazing? I love it. The relief, it's just so incredible. And that's the Australian in me, but the island here on the island, the biggest mountain here on the island of Tahiti is bigger than the biggest mountain in the whole of Australia. So we just don't see those types of things in our country. Now here's a brand new place that they've built. I'm going to read the sign because I keep forgetting the name of it before I blurt it out and embarrass myself. But I had lunch here, which is really, really nice. It's a really nice spot. The menu's pretty sparse, like no starters at all. Huriama Garden Lounge, that's it. Yeah, the burger was really yummy. They just really overcooked the bacon here. I've noticed it at breakfast as well. So I found, just be careful about that. The bacon was almost black, or it was black. There were some nice things on there that I wish I had a chance to try. I probably went with the wrong option in the end, but the stuff are great. The outlook's fantastic. The food's awesome, and then at night this place was pumping. Came out with they had the musicians playing, all the lights were on. They had happy hour, went for an hour and a half or so. It was a really good vibe, and they'd done it looked really fun. And I kind of cruised past and soaked up a bit of it myself. But that's a new place, the Huriama. It's probably Huriama Garden Lounge. Hey guys. So it's actually kind of cool being here from the cruise because there's so many people here from the cruise. I know heaps of people. Right, let's head through here. And yeah, so you can get snorkels from here apparently, I'm told. So this is the pool that's obviously functional at the moment. So they've really jammed in all the lounges, as you can see. Still fine though. Still plenty of space. And this is a saltwater pool. And as you can see, it's pretty awesome anyway. It's already pretty awesome. So this thing, you'll see this like kind of rope going through. At first I was like, what? You can't go past there. But it's actually just an identifier for the kids to say, hey, it gets deep after this point. So you can go past it. You can just go lie by that infinity edge, like old mate over here. That's a swim up bar. It was open really late too, that swim up bar. Lots and lots of lounges, fantastic outlook, fantastic space. This little island here, they do a lot of the cultural stuff I was talking about. You'll just hear a horn sounding and you'll look and you'll see some staff there setting up for something that you can come and do and try if you want to learn a bit more about Polynesian culture. I've just done a heck of that over the last week, so I've had my fill, but yeah, so enough said really. It's really good. It's a bit deeper towards the end there too, probably chest deep. It's not too bad. Now the only thing that's really lacking is a spa over there, but it's cold. I don't care how hot your climate is. hot tubs should be hot tubs. And I would have happily sat in that for many hours yesterday looking at that view, except it was really not that pleasant because it was cold, and I'll take it down there. So plenty of shade, great outlook for everyone. You know, I was saying before about a little bit of TLC. So only the 3 jets are working in that hot tub, and about 6 of them aren't. Sorry, I didn't really want to loiter there with someone in there, but so there's a few little things like that around, in particular in the room, and there's some chip tiles and stuff off the end of the infinity pool, and just a few places that just could do with a little bit of tender loving care. As you can probably see, the grounds are in mint condition, just beautifully kept. Nice little statues and stonework, and you come across, you know, these tables and chairs, interesting positions. Then really, this whole front section is just, it really is very, very beautiful. Just note that if you get one of these garden floor level rooms, there's no second step on any of them. So if you're elderly or have very little kids, it's actually not that easy to get straight down to the grass. Okay, we'll continue on. So down here is another big restaurant, which is Lotus. Now, I did not get a chance to eat here, unfortunately. I did speak to someone who did, and I've been on a cruise ship with them, and I know that they know their stuff, and they absolutely raved about it. They said it was fantastic. So I'm really gutted I didn't get a chance to see what it was like for myself. I can't personally vouch for it, but I do think that the person who told me, just knowing what they do for a living, I just think that they would absolutely know if it was good or bad. So I'm willing to lean towards it being quite spectacular, and it's kind of cool the way they've set it up, where you can show you around here, where you can eat out over the water like that. Just be aware that it is expensive. The food and the drinks are expensive here. They're just very expensive in general in Tahiti. Like, Tahiti's a really expensive place compared to Australia or anywhere in Southeast Asia, or, you know, the places that Australians are tempted to go. And because it's all US dollars, it's double whammy for us. But like, I think the burger worked out to like $60 Australian or something. It was ridiculous. So that might just encourage you to try and get an all-inclusive package, or at least a half board or something like that. Just at least get breakfast into you, because yeah, it's very expensive to eat and drink here, but it is all over Tahiti. So it's not unusually high. I think it's just high everywhere. So here's the Overwater Villas on the other end. So a little bit more isolated, a little bit more private. Going to the deep water, which is cool. It means you can jump off. Sometimes, like in the Maldives, for example, sometimes it was very shallow, knee deep outside. And they're not awfully tidal inside the atolls here. It doesn't go up and down too much at all. But yeah, like I said, I haven't been in one, so I can't tell you what they're like, but obviously standing here looking out of the island of Polynesia towards the sunset, the reef breaking in the background, fish everywhere, pretty spectacular stuff. And interestingly, you can go up there, that's all part of the same land. You can walk up there and get a really nice view over the resort, in particular at sunset time. So I won't walk all the way down to the end there because it's just more of the same. But yeah, that is the end of the resort. Okay, let's go back and have a look at my room. Righto, so here we are, my room 296. So there's 3 floors of accommodation. There's nothing behind it, just kind of backs into the hill. There's a bit of a road up there that's occasionally accessed, but not by public traffic, just by staff. And so yeah, so you got no one kind of behind you. You just got, they're all front facing, they're all ocean view rooms. Let's dive in. Now, there's a couple of things you probably know straight away. First off, it's big, there's a lot of space. And also, it's kind of a little bit dated with the colouring and everything like that. And so I'll go into a little bit more about why that becomes a little bit of an issue. It's mostly down to the lighting. So in the entry hall here, you've got a cupboard to your left as you walk in. And he's going to find your safe, a bit of storage space, a couple of drawers down there, a little bit of space for a bag, but not really good enough for my size bag. And if we close over here, we've got some hanging space, ironing board, and a couple of robes and some slippers as well. Now to the left, to the right as you go in, so I get myself around the wrong way before, you've got this bathroom. Now it's pretty nice, it's pretty opulent. It's got this huge bathtub. It's not a spa tub, there's no jets in there, but it's a massive, massive bath, even big enough for the likes of me. And kind of this, like, I don't know what you'd call it, like old school luxury finish with the shape and the little kind of cutouts and the stone and the layout of the taps and the silver and everything like that, the oval window, a mirror, 3 mirrors. So, but you know, a dual sink operation in here, and it's quite nice. It's quite nice. But as you can probably get the sense straight away, it's a little bit, well, it's not modern, is it? And it's got the window that goes right through to the outside, which you can obviously close off if you want to. Now through here, we've got a bathroom, toilet, plenty of space. Quite nice as well, it's separated by a door from the main shower and area if you wanted to, or needed to get in there while someone else was having a shower or bath. Now in here's the shower itself. I love it because I can fit in it. So it's got a little rainmaker at the top here. I can stand under there easily. It's got the alternative handle option as well. Pretty easy to operate. Kind of bulk packs. But it is a little bit gnarly on the bottom, and there's a bit of TLC all around here that could be done. At first I thought that was grime, and I was like, oh, that's weird. I think it's actually just where the grout has basically worn away. It just needs a bit of love. But it wasn't, it's not very nice, I've got to say, to see that anywhere. But I don't think it's dirty. I think it's just, the grout's just worn away. Because the room itself is really quite clean. All right, coming into the main space here. Obviously you've got this huge bed. It's a very kind of interesting and unique position that they've put on it. Kind of in the corner. I don't know if I've ever seen that before actually. So you've got this huge room, like so much space. Like you could easily fit multiple more people in here if you wanted to and they allowed it. And this kind of big I just haven't really seen a bed like this before in a hotel. So, you know, it wins out for having a different feel and being a bit unique. That's kind of the only place I could really find to put my bag was on that little seated wooden display at the front there. Some interestingly shaped corner bedside tables. And the bed itself I found to be comfortable, really nice pillows, really comfortable bed, had a really good night's sleep, slept for ages actually. Aircon's up in the roof there, it's really cool and silent, I haven't had to touch it, it's been perfect the whole entire time, it hasn't made any noise, so big wind there as well. Over here things get weird, so I don't know what's going on here. It's like this single chair that's not very comfortable at all, next to a table that's way too small for the height of the chair, and there's only one chair. So I don't know what your partner's supposed to do. I don't know, it's just weird. Like surely there's supposed to be a lounge there. Like some sort of really comfy lounge would be so much better, especially in the TVs there as well. Speaking of the TV, it's, I mean, it's fine, it's an LG, but there's not much in the way. There's a bit of information about the hotel and everything you can find. but there's not much in the way of English speaking channels. I really struggled to find anything to watch on there. Ended up watching a movie in French. So just know that you're probably not going to get much good TV time if that's something that you like to do. Make sure you bring your own stuff on a laptop. And yeah, we've got one chair, a bit of an office desk space, so you can make coffee. There is some basics in here. You got some coffee, cups and an urn from this side of things. And on this side, you've got a standard hotel size mini fridge, which unfortunately has been quite loud. So it's actually quiet right now. When it kicks in, it's got a really high pitched like tinging sound that's really quite frustrating. I almost unplugged it but I actually passed out fine in the end anyway. It was no big deal. The internet, by the way, has been fine. It's quite slow. And I was a bit kind of curious or disappointed when I saw there was an upsell to a premium internet plan when I logged in for the first time. I was like, oh, here we go. And with only downloading about 4 or 5 megabits a second, but ended up, I haven't been able to do a video call back home, but I was able to watch YouTube and stream some TV from Australia. So in the end, I guess it worked fine. Then out here, we have a really nice sized deck. Nowhere to hang stuff, unfortunately. I don't know why they just wouldn't screw some sort of hanging rack in there for your towels, your costumes, things like that. Be much, much better. But either way, it's really nice sitting out here, and that faces directly towards the sunset. It was spectacular last night. And out over the pool, the beautiful pool down there, which is really also very, very good. So lovely, lovely deck. The only issue is that there's no fly screen. So I would have really liked to have just left this open last night, at least for some part of the night, and just put a fly screen up and just let the wind rush in. But yeah, you can't really do that because at night with the lights on, obviously it gets pretty buggy. But you've got these grates that you can kind of put across just to let the filtered light in. Now, I did want to talk about the lighting. So in this room, there's only 4 lights. One, the 2 behind the bed, and this one down here. There's nothing on the roof. It's completely free of lights. It's all warm lighting. It's not very bright. That one doesn't work, and that one doesn't work. So I've only got 2 lights in here that actually work. And I don't know what's wrong with them, I don't know if they're broken or if it's just a light bulb, but either way, it's poor form. And so I was sleeping last night. This is my side of the bed. It's my wife's side of the bed. And they've got these switches down here to turn the lights, but they don't do anything. So when I wanted to go to the toilet in the middle of the night, for example, I had to get up and find my phone and use my phone torch to get to the room down the hallway to find a light switch. So not ideal, obviously. Not a huge thing, but not ideal. There's also not much in the way of power points. You've got these ones down here, this one down here. I guess you could use both of them since that light doesn't work. That's obviously way out of the way in a really awkward and weird spot. And you've pretty much just got one here, because those 2 are in use by this light, which does work, so you want that plugged in, and I think the fridge. And then you've got 2 USB-A's here, so that's something, obviously. But yeah, not much in the way of power points. So this just talks to my point about it just not being particularly modern. You can tell the lack of power points. You can kind of tell from the darkish, creamish walls, dark wood colouring, dark wood floors, which creak in places and so forth. So that's either going to add island charm for you, or it's going to be not as spectacular as you would wish. So that's just something to note, I think, is it just needs a bit of a freshen up and a bit of TLC to really start matching the quality of the experience that you're getting outside, which is like absolutely spectacular and 5-star feeling. And the rooms are just huge, comfortable, clean, but ultimately a bit dated. One thing I did forget to add is that it is a little thin between the walls and the floors. Not too bad, I haven't been disturbed enough to be concerned, but if you're really finicky about that kind of thing, about being able to hear footsteps upstairs, I feel like I might have just slightly been able to hear the TV next door, that type of thing, you may want to make sure you're on the top floor. There is a guest laundry, so if you are here for an extended time, you can wash your clothes. There you go, guys. That's an exhaustive tour and review of everything the InterContinental Tahiti Resort and Spa has to offer. There's plenty to like about this place, and obviously this front area the whole way around is absolutely spectacular. It's been kept in mint condition. The pool's great. It's only going to get better when that new pool opens up as well. And I think, yeah, I think you could just really happily stay out here for quite a long time. Very much feeling relaxed and enjoying yourself. There are places around the resort that I've pointed out where I think there's things that could be done. I think the buffet breakfast could be a little bit more varied and offer a little bit more there. I think there's some places where the rooms in particular look a little bit dated, could be fixed up a little bit. Some TLC here and there, like the spa jet's not working and some tiles being out of loop and stuff like that. So it's just a few bits and pieces that it could definitely do to slightly improve. But as an overall experience, yeah, I think you can't beat this view. It's just so good. And like I said, the staff have been really, really friendly and helpful as well. So yeah, overall, definitely a positive experience and well worth considering on your trip to Tahiti, especially if you're staying near the Papeete area. Anyway, I'm Chris Stead. Like I said, I'm doing heaps of other content around Tahiti. I've cruised all the islands. I've got excursions on all the islands and of the cruise ship as well. So plenty of more content coming up. So make sure you subscribe and you'll be the first to know when that stuff goes live, if it's not live already. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Chris Stead. Now, get back on the road. You.